Hello YouTube, welcome back. I'm very excited to bring you this video because I have new fish. We're gonna do an unboxing. I haven't done one in a while, and got some other stuff to announce as well while we open this box. I've partnered with the Wet Spot to bring you all a discount. There'll be an affiliate link below in the comments, or just put in discount code Steenfott5 for 5% off your order. Does not apply to shipping. Obviously it never does. So many cool fish in here. I've got, surprisingly there's no Corridoras, but there's loaches, there's glassfish, there's some really weird coolie catfish that I've never seen before. Really excited about those. 3 different species of apistos in here. I'm really excited about these coolie cats. Not coolie loaches, coolie cats. And wouldn't you know, they're the first ones I grab. Here is the scientific name. And I'll be honest, I haven't done much with catfish outside of corridors and plecos. So this will be pretty neat, and we'll get a lot better shot when they're actually in the tank. All right, next up is Apistogramma personata. Take a look at that name there. Really good size. Here we have the other personata, so it should be a pair. Wow, this guy's big. And I think I might have gotten 2 pairs of them actually, so that's cool. Oh, my West Africans, here we go. There's a mouthful for you. It's a wallet, cachromis, something, rubro labriatus, and then there's the collection point. Dickia. Next is, yep, I did get 2 pairs, so this is another big male personata. That's a huge male. And then here's the other female. It's a portion of the size. Here we have Siamese glassfish, which should be really cool. I've always stayed away from glassfish, but somebody wanted some, so we got some. It should be fun to try them. Somebody. Should just be, oh, here's the other rubro labiatus, the beautiful male. Really good size again. Now, disclaimer, I did pay for these. These were not given to me, so I am putting my money where my mouth is, just like Dan's Fish. Buy all my stuff from him too. I don't get anything for free. Here's the peppermint loaches, which look at the name there. And these, if I can find a good picture of them, really probably one of the most colorful loaches I've seen to date. Obviously no color in the bag though. Now it should just be apistos left, although this one, oh no, I forgot, we got Tinapoma. Oh, yeah. Tinapoma anxorii. What do we got? 1 female, so we need some males.
Very cool fish.
Here we have 2 times apistos. There should be a pair.
Big too.
Yeah, really good size. Won't be long till they're spawning. And then the other apisto I got from Pibas. There you go. Also really good size. All right, so while they're in their floating temperature acclimating, I'm going to take a quick break and get some lunch and come back in about 20 minutes, and hopefully they are ready to be released and we'll get some more footage of them. Yes, it is indeed the next day. It is not 20 minutes later. I figured, you know what, I'd just give them time to settle in and get situated before I start shoving a camera in their face. So first we're going to take a look at the Apistogramma nopaigi. I'm just going to call them Nopai. Nopai. The female hangs out in this little crevice right here. She is looking a little thin, but she ate frozen brine shrimp yesterday and bug bites today, so that's a good sign. The male, he hangs out in the moss in here, and it's very unfortunate, but I'm not going to disturb him. Now, what's interesting about this name, whatever, it means dark bottom, dark butt. So by their peduncle, they have like a black little blotch, and maybe we can see it on the female, probably not. And yeah, so that's where the name comes from, that little dark spot. Now these are going to be a little different than your everyday apistos that, you know, your like your Nisonai, your Hongsloi, or for instance the Cockatoides. You're easier to spawn apistos. These are going to be a little more difficult. You do have to get that pH down to 6 or below, which I'm running about 7.5. So when I do decide to try and spawn these, I will have to play with their water chemistry a little bit. This dude, he's still unsure of his surroundings, but he did eat some fluval bug bites. Now if you do get them to spawn, they do lay up to 150 eggs, so that'll be pretty sweet if that happens. And they are from the Lorto region of Peru, so it'd be cool to stick these in with maybe some Lortoensis corridoras instead of these skunks, although these are beautiful skunks. But you know, if I ever wanted a region-specific tank, I can do it now. Now you can't see it, but the males, they do get these really beautiful, like bluish turquoise fins. They get the black vertical stripe. It's pretty soft, but it's there. And just a regular kind of silver apisto, but those blue turquoise fins, they do look amazing once they're fully colored in. Next up we have the Apistogramma ortegii. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because these guys are actually spawning, so I don't want to bother them. But that was the male. The female's hanging out over here, and she's turning quite yellow, which is a good sign. I mean, she might be ready to spawn. Now there is a little drama associated with this fish. When they were first exported, they were taken from many different locations. Well, now we know that they're actually different species of apistos. So these are location specific, so I did feel comfortable with buying them. I probably wouldn't get ortegii if they weren't, if there wasn't a location attached to them, unless they were just like a really good price and you weren't concerned with breeding and reselling. Then it wouldn't matter. But I do want to breed them and I do want to resell them, so I do have to be very careful to make sure I get the real thing. And his entire body, when he gets older and more mature, will color up with that red and blue spangling. It'll run all over his body. It looks absolutely amazing. Super beautiful apisto. But that's all I'm going to say about them, because I don't want to bother these guys. The female is swimming around with an egg, so they are indeed spawning, and I'm going to leave them be. Next up, we're going to look at the coolie cats and the peppermint loaches, which are in the back there. Now, this water is a little cloudy. We're going through either a bacterial or algae bloom, but there they are. They're not really colored up yet. This is pretty ugly tank, to be honest. There's nothing in here, but this is a quarantine tank, so that's all right. Here's the coolie cats. Now, there's just not a lot of literature on these coolie cats out there. I know they get about 6 inches. Their common name is also mountain barbells, which is interesting. I do know they like to burrow. I came in here and they were all gone. And, you know, I had to sift through the sand. I was pretty sure that they didn't jump out, but I wanted to make sure. And so I did sift through the sand and found them and disturbed them, and here they are. They're not very happy with me right now. You can see some leftover food here that they did not eat. The loaches did eat. This is bug bites granules. So the loaches, cleaned them up. I put some in the back and some in the front, but these guys didn't touch them, so I'm probably going to try bloodworms next and hopefully get them to eat, because like I said, there's just not a lot of information on them, and I'm excited to learn. First time with them, first time ever seeing them, first time ever hearing about them, so pretty exciting, pretty cool. Next up we have the Apistogramma personata, and I'm really excited about these ones. Look at that male. These are absolute beautiful fish, and they're big. I cannot believe how big they came in. Look at this guy. Not like the flashiest of colors. If we can get a side shot, we can see the blacks and the yellows and the fins there on his mohawk. Might need some more hair gel or hairspray to get that thing to stick up a little more. But this is just a beautiful, beautiful fish. And at one point, this was considered to be one of the rarest apistos. They were just discovered in '95, and there was, again, a lot of maybe not drama is the right word, but in the apisto community there is a lot of back and forth on this fish and another fish, and if they were the same. But that's all been sorted out now. These are Personata, and I'm super happy to get them. They come from Colombia. As you can see, they get a really good size. And the other pair has been in the back and guarding that cave since yesterday. So that's a really good sign, although this is the first time the females come out, but maybe they just want some bug bites. And you know, there's some rotting on the floor there. I will be doing water changes as soon as I'm done filming here, so see if he goes for it. Yeah. You get a good shot at the mohawk there. I absolutely love it. This is such a cool fish. I am now up to 6 species of apistos, and I'm actually going to be going down to the wet spot next weekend and probably getting some more. So I've really re-fallen in love with this fish. If for all my long-time viewers, back about 5-6 years ago, I had tons of apistos. So I'm glad to be getting back into them. Next we have the Rubro labiatus, which we're just not gonna see. I don't know if they're in a cave. I don't know if they're behind the sponge filter. Next up, Chelsea got some new fish. No, I don't think I want to segue it that way. Next up, we're going to take a look at the glassfish and the Tina Poma, but those are Chelsea's fish, so I'm going to let her tell you about them. All right, so here are the glassfish, and what's the scientific name on these?
Parambassus siamensis.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And what do you know about these fish?
So they are from different parts of Asia. Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Singapore, all those good places. They usually inhabit like really slow moving, kind of medium, large rivers and flooded fields. And basically, they don't like to be around anything that moves quickly. They're really slow moving, really retiring, and they're not going to do well around any fish that will outcompete them, which is pretty much every fish. They only get about 2.5 inches and typical water temps like 72 to 81. So overall, they're like really easy fish to care for, but just be careful what you keep them with.
Any spawning reports?
So they said that with this specific type of glassfish, they haven't had any reported spawning in captivity, but that the Parambassus renga, which is basically the same thing, but they're brackish, very, very few differences. They've been able to spawn those in captivity, so they said that there's a possibility that siamensis could be spawned.
What's the non-siamensis?
Siamese glassfish.
No. There's a one is not like the other.
Renga. It's Parambassus renga is
Okay,
the
that's
other.
the single.
Yeah, they look almost like exactly the same, but they have, I think there's like less marking behind the eye on the renga. That's
and
about
one
it,
is
though.
Clearly bigger than the other.
I think they get about the same
So
size.
the oddball one is one that we've had, but they just haven't been available in a while, so we just got these ones.
Yep.
So I had some buddies.
Yep.
And maybe we can spawn glassfish. That would be sweet.
You should really keep 10 or more though, so I'm on the hunt for more.
Yeah, we ordered more, but they sold out. They sent us 6. The last 6 they
Very
had.
sad.
All right, let's take a look at the Tina Poma. So the Tina Poma, they're going to be another hard one to see, but as you can see, it just took a bite of bug bites there, which is good to see. What can you tell us about these ones?
So these are the Microtenopoma and Sorghii. They're basically like West African bettas. They're anabantids. They get about 2.5 inches. Their pH, they can go down a little bit lower, like 5.5 to 7.5, but typical temps 68 to 80. But they are from Democratic Republic of the Congo and Republic of the Congo, so they're not the easiest fish to get to, like a lot of other fish from that area. So they're kind of rare in the hobby. Luckily, they're not that expensive. You just don't necessarily see them that much. There's actually a feral population that lives on Madagascar too, which I thought was interesting. So they're there. They're really slow moving and very easily outcompeted. You really want a species only tank for these guys. Plus, when you have a male and they're dancing for the females, they look ridiculously cool. So they're definitely worth their own 20-gallon for sure.
Would this maybe be worth putting the glassfish in here since they're both kind of timid?
Yep, I was already thinking that. I think that the glassfish might be really good for them as like a dither because they are really chill and these guys do not like a lot of movement at all. This is the most I've had Sorghii for years, and this is the most I've ever seen them because I kept them in community tanks, and that was my mistake because they seem to really love to be by themselves.
Oh, here comes one. Yeah, they're definitely love hiding.
Yeah.
And they're in here with Corridors, Loxosonus, and obviously cherry shrimp.
I don't think they mind either of those guys at all. They seem to come out quite a bit. I think once I put more plants in there, they'll feel a lot better about coming out, and potentially the glassfish as well.
There is one hiding under this leaf you can barely see on the left there.
So that's a full-grown female that you're seeing, the larger one. I've had her for about 3 years. So she's full-grown. The rest are all babies, but there is one male at least. So it'll be nice to watch him get bigger.
Now, do they do the bubble nest?
They do bubble nest, yes. They are very much like bettas in that sense too. They bubble nest, but there isn't a lot of known spawning in captivity, just kind of random here and there.
And is that just because they're not very common, or?
Yeah, mostly because people just don't keep them. Unless you have a male, they're really not all that flashy. You can see the female's not terribly interesting looking. She does have some like banding on her, but the males are just really cool. So I get why maybe people wouldn't be drawn to them unless they knew what they were looking for. Plus, It's a West African, so, you know, never see them.
All right, so we've come to the close of another video. Don't forget though, code Steenfott5 at the Wet Spot Tropical Fish for 5% off your next order. I appreciate everyone who uses my affiliate links. It's a great way to support the channel without any additional cost to you, and you actually save a little bit. So it's a win-win-win scenario. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all on the next one. So I got this special envelope here for new merch, and that's the condiment. You're kidding me. Oh my gosh.